In the dawn of time, there were cartoons, and they sucked. And along came the Japanese, and they made anime!
Nerd is the new sexy.
Welcome to Nerd's New Sexy. This is episode 99, and today we'll be talking about our top 5 favorite animes. With me, as always, is...
Wildfire One!
And...
Grizzly McBee. What's up, y'all?
What's up, guys? How y'all feeling today?
Oh, beautiful. It's a beautiful day. What about you, Grizz?
Beautiful morning at 12:20 in the morning.
For us, at least. For Gambit, it's probably like 2.
No, it's 1:20.
Yeah, I'm only an hour ahead of you guys. No, so today we're talking about anime. So we're gonna jump right into this, man. Anime.
Well, we can jump right into it, but remember we gotta do a review, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys got a review.
Yes.
I don't.
Yes. So we're gonna do a quick review, and of course it's gonna be about the Bleach live action movie that came out. Which Bleach, of course, is an anime. The anime I love. It's near and dear to my heart. I love it. It's fucking amazing. It's badass. But let's start with you, Grizz. Because you got to watch it. You never watched the anime.
No, I didn't. Okay, so you called me the other morning, like 20 minutes after I got home from working a 12-hour shift, and you're like, "Look, you need to watch this before we do the podcast." I was like, "Okay." You know, it's not really my thing. You know, I'm not real big into anime, but there he goes doing drugs again. You know, anime was never really my thing. But I watched it, and I thought it was really freaking good. I mean, granted, there's some parts to it that I wish they would have elaborated on a bit more.
You're a big
like
Chad fan, yeah.
The Chad character. I want to know more about Chad, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't really touch on him at all.
Oh, Orihime or Chad they didn't talk about. And Orihime, one of my biggest issues was Orihime is one of those characters like with big ass titties. Big old knockers. And she's just like some Asian chick, flat chested in this one. I'm like, oh. But it's just I was excited.
They don't have small waisted, big titty women in Japan.
Well, they based them off of the American cultured women. You know,
yeah, kind of. It's actually funny how I know.
Well, that's why you see blonde chicks with big knockers in anime. Yeah. And they're from Japan. So.
No, I have nothing to chime in because I've honestly never watched Bleach the anime. I know I'm probably like I'm gonna piss off a lot of nerds out there. I've never watched Bleach, and I haven't watched live action because I've been binge watching a lot of other things, which we'll talk about later. So you guys do your thing. I'm just over here playing with.
Well, see, like I've been binge watching Supernatural, trying to catch up with that. So I had to put that on hold. I'm sorry. Did somebody say something?
I saw Gambit open his mouth, and I saw like 3,000 dicks flying.
Yeah, so I put that on hold to watch the live-action Bleach on Netflix. Since then, I have watched the first episode of the anime, and I'm hooked.
I knew it! Yeah.
Yeah, you're a dick.
I knew it! And partially why I wanted to do this was to get him hooked on the anime. The show, I'm not going to get into big details because you guys are going to have to watch the movie yourself. Honestly, I have my issues with it. It's not 100% accurate to the anime, but anything Netflix does that's based off an anime isn't. I mean, the closest thing I could think of was Full Metal Alchemist live action, and they did well on that.
They did. There were a lot of discrepancies that I saw.
Well, they sped shit up.
Really, really minor. Yeah.
Yeah. And they did that in this too. They did that in this like big time. And that's another thing you were talking about, not getting to know Chad or Orihime. You got to learn a lot about Chad in season 1, and that's pretty much what this movie is about. It's basically season 1 like that, and they just added and changed and did some things. The characters were good. There's one part where they fucked up Ichigo's the main character. In my opinion, you guys can watch it. There's a part where he's fighting. One of the other characters in the show, and he gets chicken shittish. And Ichigo's one of those guys that like he doesn't turn down a fight. He's like, even if he doesn't have a sword, he'll punch you in your face. You know, he's that kind of guy. And he's like, no, don't do it. No, what are you doing? And I'm like, that's bullshit. They kind of took out like the big ending from the first season, where, or maybe it could have been mid-season, but where they go to the Soul Society. Instead, they change it completely, and it's bullshit. So they get rid of like all the good stuff. Like when they have to go to the Soul Society, you find out that Chad has a power. You find out Orihime has a power. You find out, you know, more about the Quincy, Uryu. You find out, you get to find a lot about Ichigo's Soul Reaper powers. There's a lot to it, and they just kind of like, oh, we're just gonna end the movie here. He died, but he didn't die.
Yeah.
You know, and it was very stupid in my opinion. So for that, I give it like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I would say it's probably a 6 out of 10 because they could have explained a lot more. For even Ichigo, I mean, they never once touch on how he got the ability to even see ghosts.
Yeah. The anime. Oh, I can't wait to talk to you more about the anime once you get into it. And it sucks, Gambit, that you haven't seen it or got into it, because you'd probably be right up your alley as well.
I don't know. I've been explained Bleach many times by many friends, and it doesn't like appeal to me necessarily. It sounds good. It sounds great, but it's like I'm very, very picky with my anime because anime is so in depth. That's one of the reasons I love it, is because they really take the time to develop their characters, go in depth with their storylines. So I'm real careful of what I pick, because I'm the kind of stupid, neurotic OCD that once I start something, no matter how bad it is, I have to finish it. There's only been 3 shows in my entire life that were so bad I just couldn't finish watching.
Out of curiosity, what were those?
Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I loved Breaking Bad.
I couldn't. I got to like season 5, and I couldn't do it.
Okay.
I couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't. I couldn't stand Jesse, Mr. White. Like, it was so bad.
Well, I get where you're coming from.
Peaky Blinders was another one.
Don't know that one.
It's a Netflix show. It wasn't that horrible. It was so fucking dull. It was so boring.
Okay.
It was
and the third one.
Unbelievably. What's that?
The third one. What's the third one?
And the third one would be, is, believe it or not, hard to get through. I'm still struggling. Every single episode of Star Trek Voyager.
I had to choke through that too. And that's the problem. Voyager was like, we'll talk about Voyager another time.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. So 6 out of 10 from both of us. It's worth watching. You guys, if you haven't seen Bleach, you'll probably watch it and enjoy it. And you'll probably want to watch Bleach. And then you'll probably enjoy Bleach. So it's a good show. One of the things about Bleach, and I'm saying that an awful lot, is that I always thought the name was weird. I was like, what's this about doing laundry?
I think it's because of his hair.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. But so let's get right to the nitty-gritty. Let's get right to the anime. First and foremost, let's talk about what got us into anime. What makes you love anime? And we'll start with you, Grizz. What makes you enjoy anime? Since you're the one that doesn't enjoy it as much as myself and Gambit.
You know, honestly, growing up, there was like 2 quote-unquote anime that I watched. Like one I watched religiously, that a lot of people don't consider anime, but they can all go fuck themselves. And the other I watched off and on growing up, and I still watch off. But is in my top 5. You know, whenever I was younger, it was more video games and outdoors.
Yeah.
You know, if I was, and I would only play video games at night before I went to bed. During the day, I was outside all the time. What made you love anime? Like, what was exactly what brought out that love for the animation? Like, what's better about anime in your opinion that's like better than like He-Man, you know, or something that's made in the U.S.? The adventure. The adventure, the imagination. With anime, it's more imagination type, you know, with having the superpowers, be able to to, well, not even superpowers, but the ability to see ghosts, the ability to, you know, mold something with your mind.
So more or less the story, like how their imagination goes, is compared.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. It's seeing someone else's imagination from a different culture. It's just, you know, now that I'm an adult, it intrigues me more than it did whenever I was a kid.
You know, you have a point, and I know Gambit would agree with this. You can see, especially the early anime, you can see a lot of Japanese culture, and
Yes.
I think that's one of the things that had, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I can speak for all three of us when I say this, that kind of intrigued us into watching it, because there's a little bit of beauty in that Japanese culture. So Gambit, what about you? Answer the same question. What brought you to love anime?
Well, it's kind of like my intro. Like, so, you know, I grew up watching cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons. You know, Smurfs. You know,
Ninja Turtles.
Right.
Depending on what year.
Cartoons, and American cartoons were very formulaic, very boring, very, you know, by the time I got to 10 years old, I was just sick. Like, I remember actually talking to my mom once and be like, I just wish I saw an anime where the bad guy, or a cartoon where the bad guy gets to win just one time, you know, because it's just so boring. And then I got into anime, and we'll get into the first movie that I watched, and it's more real. You literally have, I tell people all the time, like, people go, oh, I can't get into anime. I was like, no, you just haven't found the right type. They're literally anime. It's like TV. It's like American TV shows. You have animes that are lighthearted, kid animes, all the way to porn, hentai,
and all the way to hentai. You know, playful stuff, and you know, like Chobits is a good anime.
Exactly.
That's
and you have everything in between. You have the violence, the gore, like you said, Grizz. There's a lot of the you can get a lot of the Japanese culture and subtext. Not everything, but there's some animes that are real. Like when they do real life animes, then you really get a sense of like the Japanese culture, past, present, future. They really like to do that. And then I also really liked, and something we'll get into a little bit later, the hyperlized style of anime where 10 seconds they can turn it into, like, a lot of people don't like the fact that they could take a fight scene and make a 3-minute fight scene.
Yeah, you're talking like Dragon Ball Z. We all know where you're going.
Dragon Ball in general.
Well, but I love that, and we'll get into that more. Why I love that later, but I love that, and we'll get into a lot of that later.
Yeah.
Talk about my favorite anime, like my #1 anime favorite, and it's because what they're doing is they're internally monologuing what's going on in their brain. And in situations of life, things and situations can slow down. If you've never experienced it, then I feel kind of sorry for you. But there are moments in life where things can slow down and you can think a mile a minute. And I like that they show that in anime where they really get to break down. And
that second does seem like 10 minutes. You know,
exactly.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I think we've all done it. It's
when adrenaline is pumping and stuff. And like I said, we'll talk about that later. So I just saw a much more beautiful storytelling ability with anime, and the biggest reason why I love anime is they, unlike American TV shows and cartoons, they truly take the time to develop the characters. It doesn't matter if it takes 12 episodes or 1 episode, they will devote themselves to developing a character.
And the character development, you can always kind of see some of yourself in a lot of these. You know, sometimes you, I mean, even if you don't see yourself in, you still kind of go, oh man, that sucks, or oh man, I really feel for that person, because you feel for him, you get into that character, you feel for that character, and it's kind of nice. And in my opinion, I think certain anime characters, you know, we've all watched animes, a lot of anime to an extent, but I think a lot of these characters feel like old friends.
Yeah.
I love the art style. The art style is hands down beautiful. The coloring, the way things, even the more sloppy chibi art, I guess you can call it.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I don't think it's as good as some of the actual shading, like the ones that are more high detailed, textured, however you want to say it. I'm not an artist, but at the same time, like any type of anime is really beautiful. You can watch certain ones, like even the gory ones where there's blood squirting out someone's neck. It's still fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy, I swear. But
no, I agree. I fully agree. I love watching the gory anime sometimes.
And that's,
and I'm not a big, as anybody who watches the podcast that knows, I'm not a horror fan. But there's something about the way anime does everything that is just better. Almost.
Well, and that's
like
the second thing I like. That's the second thing I like about anime is that they exaggerate everything.
Yes.
You know, even in hentai, if someone's having an orgasm, it's everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. It's ridiculous.
How'd that go?
Do it. Do your impersonation. I want to see you do it.
Mine is no, that's not good. I've never watched hentai.
Bull fucking shit. Yeah.
I'll be right back.
I like the fact that that everything's exaggerated. When blood comes out, it comes out in gallons. You know, the more blood than a human body has. You know, Kill Bill kind of simulated this in the live action way, and it was great. It was fucking great. You know, if someone pricks their finger, coming out, you know, it's good like that. And of course, you know, the fighting, they do shit that again is exaggerated. That Grizzly's still gone, guys. But there's a lot of cool stuff with anime that I've enjoyed, and the storytelling. I mean, the voice acting's gotten a lot better over the years. You remember back in Voltron days when it was like, "Hey guys, I'm one of the characters."
Voltron. Holy shit, that's an old anime.
No, that actually is my first anime. Is
that's
legitimate.
The first one you ever watched?
My first anime I ever, the old school Voltron.
Not mine.
Well, try watching it as an adult. It makes no goddamn sense. Let's go. So we're gonna go to our top 5 favorite anime, and we'll all go from 5 down. Gambit this time around. Gambit, what's your number 5, and why?
My number 5 is actually. So first, let me say my first anime ever. The first one I ever watched was a movie called Wicked City. Just honorable
I've
mention.
actually seen that one. I've actually seen that one.
I throw that out there as honorable mention. But my top 5. Number 5 being Kenshi the Mightiest Disciple.
Okay.
So what it's about, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's about a nerdy little kid who wants to take karate lessons, and he basically is a punching bag bullies the school. In comes hot big titty chick, because you know you always gotta have to have one of those. And she is a fucking just legendary martial artist. Come to find out, she's being trained in a dojo by 5 martial art masters. One who does Muay Thai, karate, judo.
I actually watched this like 2 years ago.
And the overall Grand Master.
Which is like your grandpa, right?
Yeah, as her grandpa. Yeah. And they decide to take him on and train him, and he learns all the styles at once, becoming obviously the mightiest disciple. But as he's training and as he's developing, he has to fight the street gang, and every fight leads to another fight, and leads to another fight, and leads to a fight, and so he gets strong. It's just a really good anime, and it's one of the first times where the guy who is the main character is not a complete fucking moron, which is nice. And like I said, it's all around just great character development. The only problem that I have with it, and that's why I fall so far down, is like one of the characters is really fucking annoying, even for anime standards. Really fucking annoying, and it's hard to like. Everyone's on screen.
Which character are you talking about? Because there's at least 2 that I can think of.
His Neji, his best friend, the demon.
Yeah.
He's just so
like almost intolerable. Like you want to turn off the damn show just because of that character sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard. But that's my number 5.
Okay, so your number 5 is the Mightiest Disciple. I can't remember the name.
Kenshi, the Mightiest Disciple.
Mightiest Disciple.
My favorite character is Opa-chan. He's great. He's a Thai character.
Yes.
He's a complete lovable bastard. He's a giant, and every time he punches somebody, he screams his name. It's so awesome.
Yes. I have another honorable mention, and that's Rurouni Kenshin.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Another really good. I've got his reverse blade katana back there. But
nice.
My number 5 would definitely be Akira.
Yes.
Because it was probably one of the first movie animes that I've ever watched, and I watched it with a few people. I think you and I watched it at one point. I think we brought it to your place and watched it with your brother, Gambit.
Yep.
And it's funny because Akira's one of those movies you got to watch at least 4 times and know what the fuck is going on.
Yes.
Because I remember the first time I watched it, I'm like, oh, this is cool, the animation's cool, but what the fuck is going on? Why is this dude turning into the Blob? I don't understand. Like, And then you watch it and you go on and you're like, okay, this makes sense. You know, why has this person got blue skin or, you know, or whatever. And it's the more you watch it, the more you understand it. And it was a good show. Definitely, it's got that nostalgia to me because, yeah, and I'm a big nostalgic person. So, you know, it's not the first anime I ever watched. That, of course, the honor to that goes to Voltron, the old school Voltron. You know, Akira is always going to have a special place in my heart because I've watched it with some awesome people. And it helped me turn on certain people to anime, too. So, Grizzly, your turn.
I would have to say my number 5. I've only seen a few episodes of it so far. But I would have to say my number 5 is probably Ruby.
That is, of course, done by
Rooster
Teeth. Yes.
Yeah. Because I watch a lot of the Rooster Teeth stuff,
mm-hmm.
and you kind of learn the voices of the employees after a while. They're not using just the main people of the company. They're using like the computer text. They're using the editors to voice these characters. That's one of the main reasons why I like it, not just because it's a Rooster Teeth, show.
I haven't seen Ruby yet, but I've been interested in watching it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
It's on my queue.
Really good thing.
Is the animation good? What do you think? What's your opinion?
I think the animation is really good.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
And that actually goes to show you that like not all anime is from Japan now. You know.
Yeah. No, it's really not. One of the. I mean,
can you call it anime if it's not from Japan?
Well, it can still be called anime. It's just not Japanimation.
It's the anime style.
Yeah, anime has become like an art name now. Like back in the day, it was Japanimation, and it turned into Japanime, and then it just turned into like it shows how lazy we got throughout the years. Anime, you know. In about 20 years, they'll just call it Anna. Anna.
You get super tired.
Yeah. Are you watching your Anna? Stop watching your Anna.
Are you watching your May?
Your May. Stop Maying. You're number 4.
Number 4 has got to go to a show called The Guyver.
Oh, yes.
The Guyver is one of the sickest animes I have ever watched. It is the fight scenes, the blood, the gore. So the premise is, again, nerdy character. He's getting his ass beat by these thugs in an alley, and he falls on this crystal, and this crystal is a symbiote, which then takes over his body, and he gets this metal suit that has blades on his elbows, and he just becomes this killer fucking superhero.
They made 2 live-action movies from this.
There was some live-action movies, and now his enemies, his arch-enemies, were aliens, symbiotes, who took over your body, and then you could, like, turn into the alien and think Venom, but way better.
It was, I hate to say, it was very before, like, Power Rangers, but it was very Power Ranger.
It was, and that's why I loved it. But it was like Power Rangers meets horror, because it was like gory as a motherfucker.
The monsters were creepy.
I'll never forget. There was one where he like by the face of Muay Thai kneed him, and his blade went through his like thing up into his skull, and it was like oh, and then he like pulled his knee away, so it split his dome in half, and like it opened up. And I was like, yeah. What
was the Guyver's like super ability? I can't remember. Was it like he shot a laser out of his chest or something? I forget.
Yeah, he opened up his chest plate, and it shot like a freaking
beam of energy. But it was awesome. The Guyver's a good pick. Ghost in the Shell. Yes, and we're talking about the movie. And again, this is where I got into like the beauty of the animation. Ghost in the Shell was probably one of the first animes that I'd watched. The movie that I had watched that I went, holy shit, this is beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the style, the art style.
Yeah, the art style was just, it blew my mind. And again, it was another one of those movies that I personally had to watch a few times to get it all. And I blame the translation for that. Because, you know, they didn't really put too much in the translation with those earlier anime movies. But it was, honestly, in my opinion, that's all I can say. It's the art style that got me. Because it was one of the more beautiful art styles that I had seen. You know, before that it was, again, Kira, which was like, you know, it's a good art style, but it's kind of sloppy, you know. And then you got Voltron, which is like, it's very sloppy. Voltron was a very sloppy anime, and I loved it, but still,
very not animated.
Yes, it wasn't, and so you get Ghost in the Shell, which, you know, everything's well, you know, well textured, everything's bright, beautiful colors, you know, even when if shit gets gory, it gets beautiful, it's pretty, you know, and you watch it and you're like, whoa, you know, because if I'd watched Guyver before that, I probably would be my number 4, but because Guyver was a well textured, well done anime as well. But the Ghost of the Shell was definitely my number 4. So, Grizzly.
Now, I did say that I've only seen one episode of it thus far. But just with that one episode, Bleach automatically made my top 5.
Okay.
Just
what made you like it? I gotta know.
Ichigo's sisters are freaking hilarious.
Oh, Ichigo, which by the way,
yeah.
Ichigo is also voiced by Johnny Young Vosh.
It was just the first episode.
Okay.
So. I guarantee you by the next time we do another podcast about anime, I will know everything about Bleach.
Oh, so your number 3, Gambit. Give us a number 3.
My number 3, I mentioned in the live podcast last night. My number 3 is My Hero Academia.
Yes.
My Hero Academia. Now, like a little precursor. So to make it to my top 5, I have to be literally obsessed, emotionally invested, and love the anime, the art style, the fighting, everything. I have to like the characters. It's a whole incumbent like math problem of why I like this anime. This anime, I can openly admit, there was a scene that literally made me cry. Like, it was so good. And more than that, everybody knows that I'm a mutant fan. I'm a huge fan of X-Men comic books, obviously fucking with the name Gambit. I'm obviously wearing a Green Lantern shirt. So, huge fan. And in this world, what they call them quarks. And so everybody has a quirk, but they go into such amazing detail about the quirks and how much they can use and the pros and the cons and making them stronger. It is really, really good. And then the character development is so good. The teachers are great. I've heard a lot. Go watch it.
I've heard a lot about My Hero Academia, and it's on Hulu, I believe. And I've been meaning to watch it. It's on my queue there, so I'm definitely going to check it out. Yeah,
it is by far and away one of my favorite animes of all time now. It's ongoing. It's literally going right now. The manga's good. So go check it out. It's on. You can get it on Hulu. You can get the first 2 seasons subbed or dubbed, and they got the 3rd season going right now. You can get it on Crunchyroll. You can get it on Funimation. All those apps. So it's like I said, it's a fantastic anime.
Any storytelling, whether it be an anime or TV show or what have you, anything that brings out emotion is a fucking winner. Mm-hmm. And I think that's another reason anime is so great, because you can watch that and just go, oh my god, I'm sad now. Oh, Trigun. Yes, and you heard me talk about Johnny Young Vosh. That's where, more or less, he cut his teeth in voice acting. He might have been doing it. He might have done it a little earlier, but that's more or less where I remember him starting. It's, I think it's good for everybody. I think the story is great. It's got this really awesome family arc towards the end. You know, where shit, it's good. It's great. It comes and there's a twist. Everything about it is great, and it's another one where the art form just kind of grasps you. And of course, you know, you got Vash the Stampede, who's the main character, who's like, you can't imagine someone being so badass, be so fucking goofy.
Yeah.
You know, but and honestly, that kind of paved the way for other characters in anime, in my opinion. Because there's a lot of characters that are like that. So that's why it's my number 3. I think that it's good storytelling, it's good animation, it's good character development, everything in that. It's one of those ones that's well put together, you know, and that's why it's my number 3. Grizzly.
Don't judge me.
Oh, we're gonna judge you, but that's okay.
I'm judging hard.
I'm already judging you.
The first anime I ever watched.
Okay.
Now, a little bit of a backstory. I am the middle child of 5 grandkids, and I'm the only boy. So, as a kid, I was forced to watch whatever my cousins and my sister wanted to watch.
If you say Sailor Moon, I'm falling out of this fucking chair.
It's Sailor Moon! Is it Sailor Moon?
Is it Sailor Moon? Oh my god! It's not a bad anime. It's not.
It's not a bad anime.
It's not.
A great anime.
As a young boy, watching a cartoon with chicks that have tits that big,
and like an instant, almost 1 second nude scene when they're transforming that they had to fix in America.
Right? Yeah. That they didn't always. Yeah. Yeah, as a kid, that was the first anime I ever watched because I was forced to watch it.
You got fucking brainwashed.
I did. I
will say this. I will say this. I'll give you credit. The anime itself is actually really good. Their powers are... Excuse me. Oh my god, that tastes like pizza and ass.
What else did you put in your mouth?
Alright, let me start over again. The anime style was really good. The characters were great. Their powers were even great too. And as a young adolescent boy, it's super hot. To this day, I still have a Sailor Moon fetish. If I go to a Comic-Con, I see a Sailor Moon, I'm like, "What's up, girl? What's up?"
That's where you wear. That's where you wear your shoes with fucking mirrors on them, right?
I mean, I don't, because I'm not that perverted character, but you know, like, I'm just saying.
You just said earlier that you're the pervy old man character.
That's not a character. That's just him.
Oh, okay.
And it had a great storyline. You can get wrapped up in it. You really could.
Yeah.
There's really nothing wrong with Sailor Moon, obviously.
Yeah, no, that was the first anime. I didn't even know what anime was until I watched Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon had good character development. So that's
fair.
So, golf clap. You know, one of us had to say Sailor Moon, really.
It had to be mentioned.
So, okay, Gambit, you're number 2.
My number 2, Dragon Ball Z.
Rock the dragon, rock the dragon.
Rock the dragon. No, let me rephrase. Not Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball, all of it. So Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball G.
Even GT?
Huh?
Yeah.
Even GT?
Yes. Even GT.
Even the shithole that was GT.
I will chew that.
Well, Toriyama had nothing to do with that, more or less.
I will
Dragon Ball as a whole is also my number 2.
I loved all of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
dude,
Dragon Ball
you sir are a dedicated fan, and I applaud you.
I would say that I would honestly say, and I'll make the argument that GT was actually mildly better than fucking Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
Yeah.
Because by then the characters were developed.
Well, you also had young Trunks, you had young Goku. There was a couple storylines that were actually pretty decent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, now, and admittedly, I've said this in many podcasts. It's all about Vegeta for me. Vegeta's the best character. Fuck Goku.
Kakarot's.
Goku. And the other characters I love him to death. I hate that people rag on him. And I'm looking at you, Team 4-Star. Is Krillin. I love Krillin.
Okay.
Krillin is the strongest human being. Do you understand that Krillin is a human? He's not an alien. Look, if the Saiyans were on planet Earth, he would be the greatest human ever.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first human to fly. He's the first human. Well, Master Roshi was technically the first human to throw an energy wave. That's where they learned it, the Kamehameha. But he's the first human to actually patent his own move. Yeah, the Destructo Disc, which was so powerful that Cell stole it. That's how
actually,
that
Cell
was.
didn't steal the Destructo Disc. He stole Frieza's version of it.
That's true, but Frieza took it.
Well, Frieza didn't take it. Frieza just had a similar attack.
And if it wasn't for Krillin, Goku would have never gone Super Saiyan.
That's very true. Goku! Yeah.
No. And literally, I don't know why, and I get it. He gets owned a lot. He gets bitch slapped a lot.
And Team 4-Star does throw that in our faces.
Yeah, but it's like, again, man, like I do like Team 4-Star when he's like, I just got bitch slapped through a wall. Like,
yeah. I'm gonna have to completely agree with you on that, Gambit. Dragon Ball as a whole, my number 2, hands down.
I'm gonna reach into that cookie jar and check GT out and just throw it over my shoulder, because GT was a abomination in my opinion. I think that there were some good ideas, but the point where they got to that baby character, I was done.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, I like the fact it got cool once he possessed Vegeta, but then it just got monotonous. It got fucking stupid. For that alone, I was like, nah, GT.
Now again, I'll go into much greater detail whenever we do a Dragon Ball Z podcast.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it for a while, but as a kid, I remember just wanting to grow up to be Vegeta. Like, literally, I love everything about Vegeta's character development, his storyline, his personality, his temperament. Everything about him is just wonderful, and I don't think he's flawed in any way. Honestly, like, I just don't.
Well, I think his only flaw, if anything, is his own arrogance, but he actually got over that.
Like, I fangirl so hard for Vegeta. It's ridiculous. You know? He's my fajita.
Your fajita? Your fajita Vegeta? That sounds like
I
something
actually like
Jack
Broly.
Broly?
I actually like Broly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop. And again, you heard me talk about Steve Bloom earlier. There was a time in anime history where any English dubbed anime, you couldn't watch it and not hear Steve Bloom talk. And he had that really cool, raspy, fucking awesome voice, and you know, he just sounded badass. And he played Spike in this one, and Spike is just a badass character. A lot of people, I think all three of us, if Grizzly, if you haven't seen it, watch it. But I know you and me, Gambit, we can relate to Spike in a few ways.
Oh yeah.
Like how?
Oh yeah.
You know,
Now, funny story about Cowboy Bebop though. So my brother watched Cowboy Bebop religiously, and I never watched it. I get with my now girlfriend, and we're sitting there talking about anime, and she's like, Cowboy Bebop is the greatest thing ever. I was like, I never watched it. And she stopped. I was playing video games. She paused my video game and was like, we cannot be together unless you watch it. We're watching it right now. And then we just started watching Cowboy Bebop, and I fucking fell in love. Like, I love it so much now that I love the intro. That iconic jazz intro is so good. Spike is so good. I don't like Faye. I hate her. I love Ein. That little cute little bastard makes me want to go out and buy a fucking corgi.
That corgi? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dog. It's a good show, and it's basically like any type of a space movie or show that you've loved growing up. It's all that stuff put together. And then, I mean, it has robots. It has, you know, a lot of sci-fi aspects, a lot of cool space. The spaceships looks great. You know, they're basically what? They're like space, like
bounty hunters.
Bounty hunters. And yeah, and it's fucking great. And the animation, once again, the animation is beautiful. The voice acting is great. Everything. There's a few episodes. The last episode, watching the last episode, you can't watch that and not have your heartstrings pulled. What do you?
Well, and not only that, but Spike is such like the fight scenes. He's such a badass.
And the Real Folk Blues is actually a beautiful fucking song. A lot of anime, especially like Inuyasha, here's another honorable mention, had a lot of really cool intros and outros.
Yes. Speaking of anime and outros and intros, there's a great meme, and that is every anime you watch, you hear the opening credits song, you're like, what is this bullshit? By the 5th episode, you're singing along.
Yes! Yes! So, Grizzly, what's your number 2?
Dragon Ball as a whole. Completely agree with Gambit. Dragon Ball as a whole is amazing.
Now, we heard Gambit's reasoning. Why is it your reasoning?
You know, because in my opinion, it covers the whole story pretty much. You know, from when they're kids, the teenagers to the youth, up through fighting all.
You even see Goku get married. You know?
Yeah.
And his kid, and so on and so forth.
It covers the whole story, the whole life.
So I see what you're saying. So instead of like how an anime goes from beginning to end, this one continues, and you get to see the next generation and the generation after that.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. It doesn't really leave you wondering, you know, at the end of one show, okay, well, what happened next? No, you just wait for the next series to come out. Boom, there it is.
Well, I was talking about the evolution of anime earlier. You know how you get that chibi art and a weird art that's kind of strange. If you think about it, Dragon Ball is a perfect example of that, because Dragon Ball was really kind of goofy, like lesser drawn anime. And then when Dragon Ball Z came out, it started off kind of the same, but not so much. And then it just got better, and it evolved. Yeah. You guys remember brown-haired Vegeta?
Red-haired Vegeta.
Was it red hair?
It was a reddish brown. It was a reddish brown, depending on the TV you had.
Why did you draw me with brown hair?
Vegeta, look, I killed their whales. Look, he's like their rabbits. Vegeta, can I keep him?
So, okay, I get that. So, okay, we're down to number 1, and that would be your what? Yeah.
My number 1 is Hajime no Ippo. It is a real-life boxing anime.
I've heard of this. I haven't seen it.
It is fucking amazing. So, again, nerd kid getting picked on, yada, 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 and a boxer comes up and saves him from his 3 bullies, and you think you're going to have this lovely moment, but he's like, you know what I hate more than bullies? Kids that won't defend themselves, and he uppercuts him right in the gut. And Ippo follows him to this boxing gym and then learns to box. And it's just the greatest, because it's so good, because it's if you follow boxing, if you follow the sweet science, they really go into like Jack Dempsey. His signature power move is actually the Dempsey roll, which is coined by Jack Dempsey, who was a 1940s boxer, takeoff comers. He had no weight class. He was actually 155 pounds. And he was literally beating up guys double his size. Jack Dempsey's amazing. Anyways, they talk about Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard. They talk about all the different fighting stances. They talk about, it's a very real anime. Now, going back to what I was saying before about the 10-second thing, in boxing and sparring in real life competition, a lot of you guys know, if you listen to the podcast for a very long time, I'm a martial artist, and I've actually competed in both MMA and stuff like that. There are moments when you think to yourself, like, just whatever you're thinking, like, oh my god, this guy's he's getting the better of me, or you're thinking, oh my god, I got this, and you're literally having internal monologues. And sometimes it feels like you're dodging and slipping, and you're like, you could see everything coming. And when they hyper stylize everything, like, okay, twist my hips and turn, and then boom, like, you think about all that while you're fighting, and you really get a sense of like the internal dialogue that happens inside of a fighter's brain. The guy who wrote this actually was a boxer, and you can really, really, really tell that from this anime. The character development is amazing. The first season has 88 episodes.
That gets an applause by itself, because there's so many animes out there that's like, what, 20 or 15 episodes?
Yeah.
12?
So and it goes into like everything what it is to be a fighter, and it's just, take my hat off, it's just so good. And Ippo is just, he's so good. And it's because of Hajime no Ippo, because I watched it subtitled first. It's because of Ippo. Like, so a little fun fact, the first game I played that had a Chinese or Japanese character was Street Fighter, and they screamed Yatsa Chun-Li, and she's Chinese and she's speaking Japanese for some weird ass reason.
I always thought that was weird.
Yeah, but it wasn't until I watched Hajime no Ippo that I finally played out with the translation to Yatsa, which it means I did it. Yatsa, I did it.
Yep.
And I watched that anime so much in Japanese that I started learning how to speak certain phrases, because they said a lot, like duck, dodge. I started like, because it was screaming Ippo, duck, dodge, bob, weave. And it's just like I started like learning Japanese because I watched this show so fucking much. It was so good. So that's my number 1. You guys go look it up. It's fucking amazing. It's so good. It's so good.
I already know what mine is. Mine is, and a lot of people are gonna go, oh my god, so generic. But it's a great anime, and it's Sword Art Online. And I think a good...
so good it got turned into a video game.
Yeah, a few video games, actually. But it was based off of it, a video game of its own creation. But a honorable mention would also be Attack on Titan.
Yes. That one, for me, almost made the list.
So... but again, this has to do with animation for me. It has to do with storyline. It has to do with like what tugs at my heartstrings. And I think we've all thought of ourselves like, what if we got trapped in a video game world? How would you react? And this game got it. This show got it literally on the dot, like how I would expect it to be, where people would die, and they die in the game, they die in reality, and it's fucked up. And it's one of those animes that sucks you into it to the point where you go, what would I do? And you got good character development. You know, I think there were two series versions of it. There's, you know, Sword Art Online 1 and then 2, and then I don't know if there's anything longer. I watched both of them. They were both amazing. It's very rare that like something comes out with it's a sequel, more or less. It's as good as the first one. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. It's great. Gambit, have you seen Sword Art Online? It's on Netflix. Take your time. Hurry up.
Take your time, hurry up.
Take your time, hurry up.
Grizzly, your turn.
My number one anime, hands down, Full Metal Alchemist.
Any show that starts off with a kid losing his leg and another kid losing his entire body is alright by me.
Well, I showed this
Leg
yesterday.
and arm.
Bleach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bleach. Hold on. And you said Full Metal Alchemist, and we'll get to why you like Full Metal Alchemist, but I gotta show this. A lot of people are gonna fucking shit their panties over this. I shit my panties when I first saw it. That's why I bought it. But
Nice.
and it even says, if it doesn't pop out of my hand, it even says the little engraving inside it. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll read it to you. It says, "Don't forget 3 October 2 or something." I can't read it because yeah. And I think that was supposed to be like the mother dying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So go ahead, Grizz. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just had to show this. I love it. It's,
you know what I love about Full Metal Alchemist is it shows happiness. It shows tragedy. You know how a young kid deals with the tragedy of, you know, losing his mother, losing an arm, losing a leg.
By not being able to accept it, and he goes obsessive, compulsive about trying to get her back. That's not dealing with it.
Then this is one of the beautiful things about it. They find out that to give something you have to, or to get something you have to give something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's, and a life is just too much to give.
If you want a life, you must give a life.
You know, but you're right. I agree with you, Gambit.
Go on. I totally interrupted you. Go ahead, Grizz.
I agree with you. It wasn't, you know, it probably would have been better to go see a therapist than go through all of that shit. But there wouldn't be.
Then it would have been a really shitty show.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been a very good show. So
it would have just been another episode of Dr. Phil, just more in depth. And
I would wreck Winry. I don't give a fuck.
Any straight male would, yes.
And of course when people mention Full Metal Alchemist, one of the biggest episodes, you want to talk about tear wrenching. And Gambit, please tell me you've watched Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure because you've seen.
I drew him.
Okay. Well, everyone, you can't watch it without remembering the Chimera episode.
Yeah.
Oh god, that.
If you did not cry, if you did not shed at least one tear over that episode, you are not fucking human.
I went outside and punched the tree because I couldn't punch the dad.
Like that, and it was in the actual live action movie. They dumbed it down quite a bit. They dumbed it down to the point where like I didn't really care as much. But in the anime, I was like, why? Why did you do this? It was so
I think
sad.
whenever I rewatched it after you had me watch the live action.
Yeah.
Whenever I rewatched it,
mm-hmm.
I called you and I was like, "Oh, I'm so pissed. Like, I just want to hit someone."
Yeah, and the live action movie was good. It was out of maybe the 3 live action anime to live action that we've seen that I've seen personally. That was the best.
That was the best. Yes.
Have you seen any of the live action anime?
Not the live action, no.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Death Note, which that's another good anime. Death Note, Full Metal Alchemist, and of course Bleach. And yeah, FMA is probably the best one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Huh?
I didn't know you were an artist.
I am not an artist. I really, really suck at drawing action.
And you're gonna show us this?
Yeah.
He traced it.
This is gonna be great.
All right, so here is a couple of my how much of a fanboy I am. So there is Edward.
Okay, that's not bad. That's better than I draw. Oh, that's an old school Vegeta. You traced the shit out of that, didn't you?
No.
Oh, okay.
And then there's one more in here somewhere. Hold on. Oh, which goes to honorable mentions. You guys ever seen Vampire Hunter D?
Of course. So we all got to say our top 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we all got to say our top 5. Here's something I gotta mention.
Mm-hmm.
For all of us, I think all of our top 5s. It goes without saying that if you haven't seen any of our top 5, hold on. If you haven't seen any of our top 5, go watch them.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least, I mean, we don't expect you to like everything we like, because everyone's different. However, at least one of these, we know you're going to enjoy. You know, not again. You even mentioned that you were going to do an honorable mention of Naruto. Right?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. So here's a list, Gambit's list. You could superimpose something right there of must-watch animes. I'm not going to go into what they are really, but you just got to watch them. They're just good animes. The list goes, obviously, Wicked City, like I said, Cowboy Bebop, Pokemon.
Yes.
Pokemon. Trigun. Okay.
Plus Rosario, Inuyasha, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Plus Rosario's good too.
Yep. Elfenlied.
Oh, Elfenlied. I was gonna mention that. I'm glad you said that. That is a damn good anime, guys. You want your mind blown? Watch Elfenlied.
Another one is Rainbow, Ghost in the Shell, Assassination Classroom, Baki the Grappler,
High School of the Dead.
High School of the Dead. Okay.
Dead
Boogie
Man's
Pop
Wonderland
Phantom,
is another good one.
and Great Teacher Onizuka.
Okay.
Those are animes I feel like everybody should watch, and you should go look those animes up. I will warn you though, there's 2 on that list that are super fucking depressive. That's
Elfenlied
and Rainbow. Rainbow sounds nice. It is not. Rainbow is set in 1944 internment camp in Nazi Germany. It is not happy. It immediately opens up first scene as a dude getting raped by like 3 other dudes, and it gets worse from there. Witch Hunter Robin.
Witch Hunter Robin. Yes, thank you.
And Vampire Hunter D.
And Vampire Hunter
Initial
D.
D.
Initial D is good too. Yeah.
And Hellsing.
Hellsing. Oh fuck yes, we're getting into some of that stuff. Oh, you know what? Even for something new, I guess we can add this to the list. Is the Castlevania series on Netflix?
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet.
Very good. Very good.
Hey,
So
what's that one that we were watching with the roller skate? Air Gear.
Air Gear.
Air Gear. Go watch Air Gear. That's another good one I started recently watching.
So that's a good list. You know, Elfenlied, like he was saying, if we had to put like a disclaimer on that, we will. That's you're gonna get into it. You're gonna want stuff to happen. It doesn't happen, and you're gonna be depressed. You're gonna start rethinking your life after watching Elfenlied.
And whatever you do not watch an anime called Boku. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay, now you got to explain. I am curious.
No. And we love you guys, your feedback. So drop like a comment of your favorite anime if we didn't mention something, and then start discussing, guys. If you guys, like, if you're on our Discord page, if you're on our YouTube, whatever, just start discussing your favorite animes, man. Like, and give me some more animes because I really need some good animes to start watching.
Yeah,
so,
if you guys got anything you want to tell us,
watch, throw them out there.
I guess with that, guys, we're gonna go ahead and stop in the episode, and we got a few things we got to talk about before we do that. Next episode is episode 100. End of the season, guys. Into season 5. 100 episodes.
100. I've been here since episode 15. Shit.
I've been here since 1.
I know.
I've been around since episode 23.
So it's been a ride, and it's going to continue to be a ride. Guys,
over 3 years.
3 years. 3 years as of the 23rd of this month, and this is September. We've been doing this for a while. Episode 100 is going to be a very interesting topic, one that we've been talking about doing for a long time, and it's a long time coming. We're finally doing it, and it's going to be great.
It's been #1 on our list of things to do for
3 years.
3 years.
And we're gonna have a special guest that hasn't been here for a long time, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But once again, it's the end of the season, meaning we're gonna take our 3-month hiatus. Doesn't mean we're gonna be gone. We'll still be putting out content. We got some good stuff coming in the month of October. We got some good stuff coming for you in December. I think we'll be back probably the 2nd week of January.
October drops new Call of Duty, so expect a whole lot of twitching for me.
Yeah, he's doing live streams. We're doing live streams on the Facebook, on Twitch. We're doing stuff and things. Shit's happening. We're definitely probably going to do a mid-season podcast just for Halloween and probably for Christmas. Just because we're going on our 3-month hiatus doesn't mean we're not working. Trust me. We're doing stuff, we're coming up with ideas, and we're throwing shit your direction, and hopefully you're catching it. So, once again, guys, we do have a number to call, and it's a voicemail that you don't have to talk to nobody. I'm not answering the phone. Gambit's not answering the phone. He wouldn't anyway. He doesn't do that. Grizzly isn't answering the phone. No one's answering the phone. It goes straight to voicemail. And, Grizzly, the number is
559-997-6803. Again, that number is 559-997-6803.
Again, call that if you have any ideas you want. Even if you want your voice on the podcast, you want to say something funny, tell us a funny story, a nerd story. We'll put that bitch on there with your permission. But anyway, with that said and done, guys, we'll go ahead. Grizzly, you have anything you wish to say?
You know, we appreciate the support. You know, we have fun doing this for you guys, and you know, the feedback we've been getting has been pretty good. We all enjoy it. So please leave a comment, even if it's just saying hi. We're cool with that.
We'll just say hi back.
Yeah.
So okay, so Gambit, is there anything you wish to say since you haven't been on in a while? I figure I'd give you a little bit of airtime.
Yeah, no, like I said, I just got a few things in the works. Like I said, the Twitch is, again, if you guys want to see me play anything, I know I do graveyard gaming. I'm going to try to do it a little bit earlier from now on, so I know some of you guys can do it. So instead
swing
of doing
shift.
it like 12, 1 or 2, I'll try starting it at like 9 or 10 at night, so it's a little bit more early. The Twitch will be very, 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 very regular, and almost every night once Call of Duty comes out. I'm super into that. If you guys want to see me play anything else, I'm going to be playing XCOM 2, Smite still, probably play some Fallout. You guys, if you want to hear anything else, fine.
So, alright guys, once again, we appreciate you guys staying with us. We've been getting a lot of attention on Newgrounds, so golf clap for Newgrounds, guys. We'll give Newgrounds, you know, if you like to see what we're doing here with the video, join us on YouTube, because this is where the video podcast come in, so the vlog or whatever you want to call it. That's where you see us live when our facial expressions, and you know, if we ever get Gambit to sing again, you'll see him make all those funny faces when he sings, you know. The cold doesn't bother me anyway. Anyway, guys.
At least you didn't have to wear a corset.
But anyway, guys, we hope you enjoyed the podcast. We'll see you on episode 100. We'll tell you a little more about our hiatus. And, I mean, we already told you what you got to expect. There's also some other things to expect. I think we might have maybe a giveaway in the future. Maybe. Stay tuned. All right, with that said, guys, we want you, as always, to stay nerdy.
Always.
Peace!